All right, here we go with 13 through, we'll go for a little while here. We'll say we'll go through, well, probably the rest of the page. All right, so, or the pages, I guess. I made it bigger because I know I'm going to need the room. So here we go. These are a little bit more complicated than the ones that we had on the first page. First thing I'm going to see, I'm going to need to distribute that 13. So 4 plus 14c is greater than or equal to 13c plus 52. I'm going to get my c's together now. So 4 plus 1c, or just c, is greater than or equal to 52. Subtract 4, I get c is greater than or equal to 48. Just like on the first video, if you watch that, 48's on the right. Closed circle here. And the number is bigger than or equal to 48 would be to the right. Okay, that's a horrible symbol there. Let me try that again. There we go, it's better. Next one is an and. I'm going to add 6 to both sides, or all three sides actually. So negative 2 plus 6 is 4. 14 plus 6 is 20. And now I'm going to divide by, oops, I forgot the 4 in there. Now I'm going to divide everything by 4. And I get 1 is less than or equal to n, which is less than, that's a 20. 5. Smaller numbers 1, larger numbers 5. 1 has a closed circle, and 5 has an open circle, and I shade between them. 15. Kind of throwing a curveball at you here, so it's pretty simple. Divide by 4, you get negative 4 is greater than or equal to y. No flipping of the sign there. I divided by positive 4. It doesn't matter that the answer is negative. Divided by positive 4 does not flip the sign. So negative 4 is on the left. It's a closed circle here. And I want to shade the numbers that are less than negative 4. So if I wanted to flip it around, it might be easier to see. For some people, it's eating the negative 4, so it's going to continue eating the negative 4, which would be shade to the left. 16 is tricky. It's an and. Looks easy, but there's that negative u there. Let's get rid of the 8 first. Subtract 8. So negative 4 minus 8, negative 12. Negative u in the middle. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Now I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. So now I have positive 12, u in the middle, and positive 4. Signs got flipped, right? Because of being divided by a negative. But that shouldn't make any sense to you. 12 and 4 are kind of in opposite spots. 12 is bigger than 4. It should be on the right. 4 should be on the left. So you can write it like that. Just be careful. What I'd recommend doing is moving the 4 and 12 and making them switch spots. When you do that, though, the signs have to go with them. Okay, so it's going to look like this: 4. And they go back to being less than. And that's because if you look at it backwards, start at 4. Right? So if you start at 4 and you just go this way, we usually read left to right, but if you read right to left, it's 4 is less than u, which is less than 12, which is what we have here. Four, 12, both have open circles, and we shade between. Okay. Not a compound inequality here, but just a single one. But we have b on both sides, so that's negative 10 plus 5b is less than 3b plus 2. Subtract 3b. I get negative 10 plus 2b is less than 2. I'm going to add 10 to both sides. That's 12, so I get b is less than 6. 6 is to the right, open circle, and the number is less than 6, so to the left. Last one is an or. So we just treat it like two separate problems. I'm going to go ahead and put or down here so I don't forget. I see that, I write it down. All right, so let's deal with the first one. I'm going to subtract 7, so I have negative 3x is less than 15. I'm going to divide by negative 3, so it's going to flip the sign, right? Divide by negative flips the sign. X is greater than negative 5. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. Do the second one now. Multiply by 3, I get 2x plus 5 is less than negative 21. Subtract 5, I get 2x is less than negative 26. Divide by 2, x is less than negative 13. Now, it's not wrong to write it that way. However, just make sure you understand that negative 13 is smaller. If you think negative 5 is smaller, you'll have it confused and you'll have it backwards when you graph it. So negative 13, open circle, negative 5, open circle. Less than negative 13 would be to the left of negative 13. Greater than negative 5 would be to the right of negative 5. There you go. Write an inequality or compound inequality to represent each of the following. Define your variables. All real numbers between negative 5 and 4. So basically that's a compound. Negative 5 is less than x, which is less than 4. Between just means, not including negative 5 and 4. Okay? X is just going to represent the real numbers, or just numbers, I guess. The temperature outside was less than 45 degrees. So X was less than 45 degrees. X is going to represent the temperature, actual temperature now. Okay? So X was less than 45 degrees, not equal to. At least 600 people attended the school play. So, greater than or equal to. A lot of people are going to put less than or equal to. Think about what this means. X stands for number of people, right? It says at least 600, so that's 600 or more. So X, the number of people, has to be bigger than or equal to 600. Okay? 22, it costs $80 to rent a jet ski. There's an additional charge of $21 per hour. If Betsy wants to spend no more than $200 on a day of jet skiing, what are the possible number of full hours she can rent the jet ski? So H is going to represent number of hours. And it does say full hours. So it's got to be full hours. You can't have a partial hour, right? So we have to figure out what it's actually going to cost her. So it's going to cost her $80 plus an additional $21 per hour. So 21 times the number of hours. She doesn't want to spend any more than $200. So she wants to actually spend less than or equal to $200. So there's my inequality, and now I want to solve it. So I'm going to subtract 80. I get 21H is less than or equal to 120. Divide by 21. Grab my calculator here. Sorry, didn't have it ready. 120 divided by 21 is 5.7. 1, 4, ... Okay? So rounding, if you think of rounding, you would think, oh, 6, because 7 is closer to 0.7 would be closer to 6. I'd round it up to 6. But I can't do that because if I go up to 6, it's going to actually cost more than $200. So I got to take it down to 5. So the number of hours she could rent it is 5 or less. Okay? H is less than or equal to 5 hours. For lunch, Amelia wants to eat at least 870 calories. The nutrition facts say that each slice of pizza has 165 calories, a bag of chips has 220 calories, and a soda has 105 calories. How many pieces could she eat and reach her goal? Right, all possibilities. So I'll say P is slices of pizza. That's the thing that's going to change, right? How many pieces of pizza, right? Well, the calories in that is going to be 165 times the number of slices she has. Plus, she got a bag of chips with 220 calories, and a soda with 105 calories. That right there, it's on the screen right now, is that's what the number of calories she would eat. Okay. 870 is not what she eats. That's the goal. She wants to eat at least that. So she wants to eat 870 or more, which is where that sign comes in. All right, I'm going to go ahead and combine 220 and 105. That's 325. And then subtract that from 870. Oops, I shouldn't have put equal. Greater than or equal to. And 870 minus 325 is 545. Divided by 165. I'm going to have P is greater than or equal to 3.3. Now, Amelia wants to have more than 870 calories. 3.3 is going to give her exactly 870 calories. So she can't take that down to 3 because that'd be less than 870 calories. So she has to have 4 or more slices. And she's got to have 4 or more. A regulation-sized football must have between 12.5 and 13.5 pounds of pressure to be considered legal. Each pump from an air compressor inserts 0.2 pounds of pressure. If a certain football is found to have 11.1 pounds of pressure, what are the possible number of pumps that can be done so that the football can be considered legal? So P is going to be considered number of pumps. So there's a limit on one side, but there's also a limit on the other side. So this is going to be a compound inequality. And I know that 12.5 is the low limit and 13.5 is the high limit. I'm going to go ahead and put the equal to. I was kind of considering this. Back here on this problem, number 19, when I said all real numbers between -5 and 4, I would include the equal to. That's kind of confusing. Some people think between means including, others don't. In this case here that we're doing right now, the number 24, we are considering 12.5 to be good and 13.5 to be good. So that's why equal to does count. Now, this football that they're looking at right now has 11.1 pounds of pressure, which is not good. That's under the amount that needs to be there. All right, so 11.1 is not good, but they're adding some pumps, and each pump adds 0.2 pounds of pressure. So how many pumps do they need? Well, let's subtract 11.1 from all three sides. You're going to get 1.4 is less than or equal to P. Sorry, not P, 0.2 P. Which is less than or equal to 2.4. Now I divide by 0.2. And you get 7 is less than or equal to P, which is less than or equal to 12. So somewhere between 7 and 12 pumps. All right. 25, my wife wants to start a small business designing decorative burlap wreaths. To start her Etsy account, the online store she would use to market her wreaths and get the equipment needed to make the wreaths, she has an upfront fee of $219. She figures that each wreath will cost her around $23 to make. She would sell the wreaths for $49.99. Find all possible number of wreaths sold that would allow her to make a profit. Okay, so this actually was considered a few years ago. My wife did want to do this, never pursuing it, but I thought about it and thought this could work well with inequalities. So to make a profit, that means the income must be greater than the expenses, not equal to. Equal to means they've broken even, or we've broken even. But if I want to make a profit, it's got to be greater than. Can't be equal to. So the income is going to be $49.99 per wreath, where W is the number of wreaths. Okay, we want that to be greater than the expenses. And the expenses were $219 and about $23 per wreath. So now we can solve that. $49.99 minus 23. Sorry, $49.99W minus 23W is $26.99W. It's greater than 219. So 219 divided by 26.99 is W is greater than 8.11. Okay, so now you have to think about this. What is the first number of wreaths that would make this a true statement? It's got to be a whole number of wreaths. I can't make a partial wreath. It would be 9, right? So there's two ways of writing this. If you want to use the same sign as you start with, which would be a good idea, W is greater than 8 would work because the first number that makes that true is 9. Another way of writing the same answer, though, is W is greater than or equal to 9. Again, the first whole number that would make that true would be 9. Okay, a little confusing there, but if you think about it, logically, it's not too bad. So that's it. Hopefully that helped you get ready for the test.